Good afternoon, student. This video content is the fifth and last part of the chapter Federalism, class 10, subject Social Science. Student, in this section we will discuss the last topic of the chapter, which is decentralization in India. In this topic we will try to explore how over the last 60-70 years, ever since India has got independence, what power sharing arrangements have been made by the government, how over these years from the two tier of the government we have developed ourselves to the three tier of the government by including the local government at the village level. It is called the panchayat, you have studied in your class 6, and at the urban level it is called municipalities or municipal corporation. We will also try to explore that how more and more decentralization has been done by ensuring that people living in the village area or living in the urban area can take more participation in the decision making process. Student, if you remember, in the early part of this chapter we have discussed that federal governments have two or more tiers of the government. So far our discussion has remained limited to only two tier of the government in our country, that you are well aware. Government at the national level, which is called in our country Union of India, you can also call it central government, and then government at the provincial level, which is in our country called state government. But do you think that the country which is as big like India, with the diverse population, with lot of diversity, can have only two tier of government? It means that two tier of the government is not good enough, not sufficient for our country. Just think of our country. Some of the Indian states are bigger than the independent countries of Europe. In terms of population, our Uttar Pradesh is bigger than the Russia, which is very big in size, the biggest country in the world in terms of size. And Maharashtra is another state which is bigger in size in terms of bigger in size compared to Germany. Many of these states internally very diverse. Then if you go to the Uttar Pradesh, you will find that within the Uttar Pradesh there exists variety of diverse culture, there exists diverse languages. So student, it becomes very difficult to have only two tier of government. India cannot be run only through two tier, as federal power sharing in India need another tier of government, and therefore rationale for decentralization of power resulted a third tier of government, which we call local government. Now question is, by making local government, what we do? We actually do the decentralization. We ensure that power which has remained in the hand of the upper two level, which is central government and state government, are going to be given to the local government. So you can say, student, when power is taken away from central and state government and given to local government, then it is called decentralization. And the basic idea behind decentralization is that there are a large number of problems and issues which are best settled at the local level. Yes, you must understand this. Sometimes it is very difficult for the government at the higher level, government at the national or state level, to know about the problem what exists in the local area. Those people who live in the area are much aware about the existing problem. They can be finding the solution much easier than the government at the national and state level. That is why it has been considered that government should be, central and state government should give away some of the power to the local government, and people participating at the local level should come forward to find the solution by making more and more participation. That is how, student, you can say that things have become more decentralized in nature, more democratic in nature. Student, we can say that the local government is the best way to realize one important principle of democracy, that is decentralization, and it can be realized through the government which is named as local self-government. Need for decentralization has been realized since the beginning when the constitution was written. I must be telling you that in the directive principle of the state policy, there exists Article 40 of the Indian Constitution, in which the provision of Panchayati Raj was advocated when the framer of the Constitution wanted to include the basic idea of our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Everybody knows that Gandhiji was the supporter of the government at the local level, government at the rural level, what you call Panchayati Raj system. But it was realized that ever since country became independent, not serious efforts were made. Government did not, many central and state government did not give the power to the local government. There was no attempt made to make the election regularized. There was no attempt made that more and more decentralization has to take place and more power should be given to the local government at the village and town level. You can say that need of the decentralization was recognized in our constitution based on Article 40, as I said, which is mentioned in the directive principle. But it was not taken seriously other than writing as one of the article of the constitution. Since then, there have been several attempts to decentralize power to the local government in town, but not good enough. Finally, what happened in the year 1992, in the month of April, the government of that time has taken a major step towards the decentralization process, and in the constitution, 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment was made, through which local government was introduced in a more systematic and organized manner at the village level and at the urban level, at the rural level and at the urban level. 73rd constitutional amendment, through which in Article 243 of the Indian Constitution, few clauses were added. This is extra information, student, I am giving you, not given in your textbook. So what happened, that few articles were added to make certain provision for the smooth functioning of our rural panchayat, so that the people at the village level can truly participate in the democratic process. Similarly, in the 74th constitutional amendments, more and more power were given to municipalities and municipal corporation. We will discuss in the coming part of this heading that what is municipality and municipal corporation. More power were given, as I said, through the 74th constitutional amendment, so that people at the urban level, people at the town level or the big city level can also make maximum participation in the decision taking process. So we can say that the third tier of the government was made more powerful and effective, and various provisions were made to, you can say that various provisions were made to make it powerful and effective. Let us discuss one by one. The first is that it was made mandatory. Now constitutionally things were made mandatory to hold regular election to the local government bodies. Before 1992, though there was provision for conducting election for the local government, but it was not regularized. Sometime it was conducted. If it was conducted in few of the state, it was taken seriously, but in other state it did not take serious. In other state it was not taken seriously by the government existing there. So now it was constitutionally mandatory to hold regular election to the local government and bodies. Second, provisions were made that seats are reserved for SC, STs and OBCs. Also, to make the maximum participation, to ensure maximum participation from the weaker section of society, which is scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes, seats were reserved in the proportion of their population in the respective constituency where elections were likely to held. This was one of the factors which made things more democratic, as well as it ensured that the weaker section of society get politically empowered by taking decision on their own. This made a remarkable difference. Another provision which was made in this constitutional amendment, that was 1/3 of the total seats in these election, whether it was panchayati election or the election for the municipalities or municipal corporation, one third of the seats was reserved for women to ensure more and more participation from the women, to make it possible that more political empowerment of the women can be made possible. Another provision what was made over there was that a state election commission has been created in each state. If I hope you remember that so far, to conduct election in the country for variety of election, like election for the Lok Sabha, election for the Vidhan Sabha, election for the president, vice president, and many by pools and other type of election, we have Election Commission of India. But for conducting the local government election, state election commission was created in every state. Last provision, what we can say, that the state government are required to share some powers and revenue with the local government bodies, because we know that now at the local level, if these government will take the decision to implement these decisions, they will require the control of the financial resources. That's why this provision were made, that the state government are expected and are made constitutionally responsible to share their power and revenue with the local government bodies. The nature of sharing varies from state to state. This is possible that different states may have their different approach in terms of sharing of the power. Few states are more willing to give away the power to the local government, few other states are little reluctant, little rigid in the terms of sharing the power. But it has been ensured constitutionally by making 73rd constitutional amendment and 74th constitutional amendment that more and more power has to be shared in terms of revenue, in terms of decision taking process from the state government side to the local government. I already told you that in your class 6 you have studied about Panchayati Raj. So the rural local government is popularly known by the name called Panchayati Raj. And in this Panchayati Raj, there you studied two words, if you remember, Gram Panchayat and Gram Sabha. Gram Panchayat is a council consisting of several ward members. Number of several ward members exist in this Gram Panchayat, often called Panch, and a president who is also called Sarpanch. It is decision making body for the entire village. Yes, they used to assemble in the village, this Gram Panchayat along with the member of the Gram Sabha assembled and then take decisions about the existing problem of the village. Panchayat works under the overall supervision of the Gram Sabha. Now what is Gram Sabha? So very simple definition of Gram Sabha is that every single person in the village who is adult and more than 18 years of age and who can cast his vote is the member of the Gram Sabha. I am repeating again, every single member of the village who is more than 18 years, who is considered as an adult and has been given the right to cast vote is the member of the Gram Sabha. All the voters in the village are its member. Then what it happens that these Gram Sabha members get into a kind of meeting for the purpose of taking important decision with the member of the Gram Panchayat. There they used to decide various things, and that is how the political empowerment of every person at the grassroots level do take place. Every person who take the decision about himself feel more satisfied that whatever decision, whether good or bad, is taken by them. They have to take the responsibility of every decision, and that's how we make the process of decentralization more systematic. A few Gram Panchayats are grouped together. Now it is not only that Gram Panchayat exists. At the village level you will find that there is also a 3-layer of the government. So the very basic layer was Gram Panchayat. Now number of villages together form what is called Panchayat Samiti, or it is called with another name block or mandal. So number of Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat, it means number of village when they come together, including as number of Gram Panchayat and Gram Sabha, when they get together, they are called Panchayat Samiti, or with another name called Block Committee or Mandal. And the third stage, the topmost stage at the village level, is when number of panchayat samiti or mandal in a district means all those village who comes in a particular district. So when number of block committee or panchayat samiti or mandals in a district together constitute, they form the Jila Parishad. That Jila Parishad, but its name itself suggests Jila Parishad. Jila means district. So Jila Parishad chairperson is the political head of the Jila Parishad. There exists a elected person, chairperson, who is the political head of the Jila Parishad. Local government bodies exist for urban areas, but now moving to the another segment, student, that not only in the village, it has been taken care that those who live in the town area or those who live in the big cities, there has to be representation for them also. There has to be political empowerment for them also. That is why municipalities are set up in the town area. And for the big cities, there exists a institution called municipal corporation. Student, along with this, we must be knowing that in these institutions there exists some of the decision taking higher authority that you can call, like in the municipal corporation, the political head of this municipal corporation is called mayor, while in municipalities the political head in the municipalities is called municipal chairperson. I am repeating my sentence again. For the big city where municipal corporation exists, the head officer of this institution is called mayor. Similarly, for the municipalities, the head officer is called municipal chairperson. Therefore, student, we can say that the whole system of this Panchayati Raj or the government at the urban level, which is municipality and municipal corporation, is probably the largest experiment in democracy conducted anywhere in the world. You will be surprised to know that there are about 36 lakh elected representative in panchayats and municipality. And this number is very big. This number is bigger than the population of many countries in the world. So you can be feeling proud that in your country, the people who participate in the decision making process and who hold some of the offices for doing the work at the very grassroots level are so high in number that it is higher than the population of many countries of the world. Constitutional status, you can give the credit for this, because after 1992, ever since the Panchayati Raj system and ever since the municipality and municipal corporation have been given the constitutional status, the local government has become more efficient. Local government working has become helpful for the realization of democratic ideas, realization of power sharing arrangement, and ensuring that true sense, the democracy to be achieved in true sense. As I said, that 1/3 of the seat has been reserved for the women. Seats have been also reserved for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes as according to their population. So you can definitely draw the conclusion that there are democratic setup which has been established, more federal structure has been made, and power has been decentralized to the larger section of people, and efforts have been made that every single person who is capable of taking decision gets involved in the decision taking process. However, student, we can say that still lot of the things has to be done. There are various complaints we used to get through our newspaper that women member do get elected in the village, but actually they remain like a puppet representative. Reason, their male member in the family used to dominate, either their brother or their father or their husband sometime used to dominate through. So still some difficulties are there that need to be overcome. You can say that difficulties like Gram Sabha are not held regularly. Still some places in India where we find that Gram Sabha, which is likely to be held after a certain period, is not being held regularly. Similarly, there exists various number of state governments which have not transformed significant power and adequate resources to the local government. Though the constitutional provisions are made that more and more financial power has to be passed, but it has not been done because many state governments are not willing to give away their power and make the things more democratic. We can hope that in the coming years more constitutional reforms will be brought to ensure that decentralization in India become more democratic in nature. That's how, student, we are completing this chapter. Thanks a lot. There are various examples and boxes of the chapter I have left without explanation, and hoping that you will get into the detail with your teacher as your online classes are also going on. Discuss the question answer also for this chapter. Before I say goodbye to you, I would like to say, I'm saying this first time because many students are requesting me that upload this video or upload about video about this particular chapter. Probably they are not knowing that such videos have been uploaded. So I would suggest that you subscribe the channel if you find that the video content is appropriate, and please share with the others. Please press the like button, and there is a bell which you are expected and requested to press also. Thank you, student.